Hello everyone, as promised I'm here at exactly the time I said I would be here because my timing is really good. Well, like, look at this fluff. Uh, uh, I already have one viewer. Hello viewer. I just want to say that welcome to the Reichstag, where we are here at the beer hall to discuss the dangers of international Jewry. And I feel that I have been chosen for this mission. So I got into a battle the other day. I have been chosen for this mission because I am loving enough to deliver to you the truth. And, you know, I have like many Jewish friends, and I feel like I have the historical ability to try to explain this to you in the least like upsetting way as possible, but to also explain to you that it is real, like it's a real problem. So as you see, and I know that there's a young guy on X who was just like, I just can't believe it. I just can't believe it. Like, but they're still bombing Lebanon. Like, okay, so like the problem here is you're not understanding the fundamental issue is that these people are never going to stop. Iran is not their one and only time enemy. If they can't destroy Iran, they'll continue to destroy Lebanon. They're destroying hundreds of locations right now. Cities in cities in the U.S., Lebanon, Syria, Sudan, Somalia, Nigeria. Just because you saw the Iran conflict doesn't mean that's the only place they're doing this. That's just the only place that could kick their ass back. So they obviously have our government blackmailed right now. So they made a desperate attempt to use the U.S. military, because we actually have a military capability that could foolishly, I don't know, do some bullshit, or at least destroy itself in the process of trying to do some bullshit. They don't need the U.S. military as much to economically destroy Venezuela or Cuba or Sudan or Nigeria. They have their own missiles and drones via our money and finances that they can drop. But when it comes to a big one like Iran, that's been on their hit list for a really long time, they needed to employ us. So, and unfortunately they have gotten to this point where they could do that because of their 30-year blackmail operation with Epstein, and then their integration into the U.S., pretending we're some kind of like one entity, when 250 years ago we created an independent nation that follows a constitution that will forever keep us free and independent from terrorists like the international Jewry, that this particular group of this ethnic group of Jewish people is like, it's their thing, and they still practice pagan Satanism. So like, I am a huge fan of Jimmy Dore. Like, I am a huge fan. Like, a lot of my best friends are Jewish. We just click. Please, somebody, you can try to explain to me like what this divide is. Like, is it where they came from? Like, is this particular group, is it just because of where they originated from and then the cultural beliefs they held, compared to other Jewish people who came from maybe another area? So maybe these people came from Russia or something, and then these people came from Bohemia, Ukraine, something like that, where I had family from that was partially Jewish. And we just have differing makeups for so long in terms of cultural and religious doctrine. So, like I said, this is a particular group, but to not be able to speak about this particular group because they somehow try to encompass themselves within an entire group of people who are unrelated to this behavior is not acceptable, because it's a mechanism to hide and then to still infiltrate and create crimes. So I hope you understand that this isn't like a blanketed every single person in this group, but it is this group, a section of this group that does this. And like, we've seen enough of the Epstein files to see that it's very malicious. It's very targeted. They have no problem making us an explicit, hardcore target for financial extraction, for blackmail material. So it's like we can't play Mr. Nice Guy with a group that will literally destroy you. That doesn't mean it's every Jewish person, okay? And I was listening to this occult theory, and some say it's global, but and they come in all forms and sizes, and these people are some kind of other entity, demonic entity. I still think it really boils down to like this group, and then I do feel like, and I think they said this too, and then they puppet their way to different groups and corrupt them. And it's even said amongst old Jewish rabbis and current Jewish rabbis that this is a mystical power. They use the Kabbalah to do this. They use black magic. So at this point, he's like, I consider like Christian Zionist Jews, like I consider anybody who has been blackmailed and infiltrated of the mind and soul into their group to be Jews, like this Jew group that we're talking about. So I'm like, okay, well, that's interesting. But I just want to say that this talk could take a couple hours. I'm not really sure. Like I said, I was going to divide it into 3 parts. Politics, and then my Kampf reading. And it's good to read all different books, but this is one we definitely have to hit. And then into spirituality, teaching, so we can eventually reach an independent state of mind that allows for our own enlightenment. So therefore you will be just as offended by me when a disgusting group of people like this tries to dictate what we do and how we live, and tries to put their AI in front of us and tell us what we should believe and what we should know via their AI systems. So that has to come from within. So we have to practice knowledge, spirituality. We have to know their occultism. We have to know that there's Satanism via AI and AI god deity, who they hope will be their next god, and they're willing to sacrifice the reputation of all Jewish people as a scapegoat, and then move their power behind it's kind of like the Wizard of Oz curtain of AI, and yet still be all the same people. While people mass dislike the general Jewish public, it will still be this Jewish Zionist group hiding behind AI, trying to tell you what to do and what to think and who to be, and to be disgusting enough to call it Jesus Christ, who is the Lord and Savior. Oh, okay, so it's going to be Elon Musk and Sam Altman, child pedophiles, feces eaters, pathological liars, and financial schemers who are going to play Jesus Christ behind Grok and ChatGPT. Like, that's why a lot of people are like, they're so flawed that they F it up every time. Like, they're so flawed that they just self-destruct every time. Like, which is, like, to our benefit. So it's like... so it's like... It's it's absurd, essentially. So I just ordered, so I suggest the Mein Kampf, and so far it's just been dead on. Like, of course they don't want you to read this, because this is their playbook written out. And like I said, this entity doesn't evolve. It stays in the same habitual schemes and patterns and ideas. So it's like once you have their playbook written out for you and you know their play, it applies to every country, it applies to every time period. So it's like, that's why this book is so hard to get your hands on. Of course, obviously. And then they scare you with the warning label that it's the most evil book in history. Is bombing Lebanon just for the sake of bombing them because you're pissed off and mass murdering children and bombing villages and starving children in Gaza and terrorizing children to no end in Gaza for 3 years who are starving and dying of disease, whose families have been mass murdered? Is that not evil? So how dare that group who produces evil and mass atrocities in front of your eyes on a daily basis to tell you that there is literature out there that is evil, that you shouldn't read? If that group told me something like that, that would be the first piece of literature that I would hunt down and that I would read and compare. And that's all we're going to do. We're going to read it, we're going to listen to it, and we're going to compare it to what we see now happening, which is like dead on. Like, I see every one of Elon's tactics in this. The social degeneracy, the manipulation of information, the blaming them for what you're doing. It's the same tactics. These people are primitive. They don't go to the higher thinking self. They don't go to the heart. They're primitive. So it's extremely bright in here. So first we'll just go over some public events. Like, somebody said the U.S. has, I think it was meant to say, like, became an unreliable partner in the world. Like, how sad is that? Like, you could be the guy, you could be the person that, like, everybody goes to and relies on, or you could be the person that everybody despises and thinks is trash. And that's what the Zionists have made us. So, and I was like, that's because they're not Americans. Like, it's no longer run by Americans, but it's illegal. So, like, these people could be arrested and charged. Auctions of 10 and 30-year Treasury debt this week face scrutiny for signs of flagging foreign demand after several of the month's sales, the first since the U.S. attacked Iran and shunned overseas investors. I just said speaking of the last 10 to 30 years of Treasury debt, the Epstein financial era needs a full audit of the Treasury and a full audit of the Pentagon. Because where did all this debt come from? It's like, stop right there. Where did all this debt come from? I can't be bothered. Honestly, I can't be bothered. And then you see, like, just this crazy, like, these robots just flinging out with machine guns attached to them. Like, this is called Zionism. There's no need for this. This has been going on for 5 years. This is costing $1 billion a day for nothing for the last 5 years. This is called the military industrial complex. Just hell on earth. Just selling weapons. Annoying the fucking shit out of Russia. Just killing as many people as possible. Like, you have to see what it is. It's all the same. It's all the same. Oh, there's Sam Altman, the rapist, who somehow has a massive Zionist AI degeneracy system that's unregulated by the government, which is convenient for them. Pam Bondi doesn't want to testify. This person says hold her in contempt. Like, the Air Force, the Army, the Navy, and the Marines needs to calm down and capture all these Zionist terrorists. If they're Jewish and they're in the government, that's a bingo. And if they are covering these people's crimes who have infiltrated the government, that's a bingo as well. Just forget it. Forget their fucking games and their nonsense. It would be a game over. Just arrest them and throw them all into prison cells. Audit the Pentagon, audit the Treasury. You're going to allow 400 million Americans to live in squalor and ghetto circumstances with no health care, massive education loans from these financial schemers, and you're going to allow these people to just dance around on all of our graves, the graves of what our lives could have been. No. Fuck them. Netanyahu will be holding a security meeting at 2:30, so that should be interesting because I could have swore that he died. So maybe he's a Charlie Kirk. So what has happened, that Epstein and they all sat around the round table to discuss, is that they were going to launder all of the money out of the U.S. Treasury and use the diaspora of Jewish billionaires as basically offshore holding accounts. Like Bill Ackman, and Elon, and Larry Ellison, and Sam Altman. And they were going to use their companies as these offshore accounts. So basically, they don't get taxed because they set the system up that way. So they're going to drain the money out, and then they're going to put it in these people's bank accounts and companies, etc., that they will all have the insider information knowledge on and control of, and they'll never be taxed on the wealth, and they will remain a tight-knit group that has the elite agenda to control us all via satellites while they create kingdoms with various wives and specific breeding. Like, go fuck yourselves. Go fuck yourselves. You're dumbasses. You are absolute dumbasses. Breeding any more of any of you is a serious injustice to the intelligence of this world and humanity. Heavy day of bombing in Lebanon. Like, why did Lebanon have Hezbollah? Because Hezbollah is a militia of men created to protect a black male government of Lebanon for the day when the Israelis decide they're going to carpet bomb it. Israelis call it mowing the grass, when they just fly by and bomb your schools and your hospitals and your civilians to remind you that if you get out of line with them, they'll bomb you. Thus, groups like Hamas and Hezbollah are created because somebody has to defend the people from these psychopaths, Satanists, mass murderers that get away with this shit. That's why it's up to people like, seriously, it's come down to people like me, which makes sense because I'm born and raised in the U.S. and people look up to actual true U.S. Citizens, which I know because I've gone to school with a lot of international people and everybody has always looked to me for guidance. I used to drive around all the foreign kids, like all my friends have always been foreign, and everybody always looks to me to raise the hand first, to say something, to address a situation. Literally, they'll all just be like, so it's like, here I am again, don't worry about it. And that's what Americans need to do. Because other people are too timid to do it, and they look for us to do it. And I'm not talking about the American financial scheming scoundrel skanks that have gotten into the White House, like Pete Hegseth. Nobody's looking to them to do anything. If globally, if somebody's Jewish, they're hated because they know what these people do. And it's a shame for the half of the Jewish people that don't do anything like this. But because of the half people that do stuff like this, it's a safety factor. It's a safety factor. Like Elon had that ignorant comment of, oh, like African and Asian people don't love diversity, but they love to come here. That's because every time idiots like you go there, you blow up all their shit and you ruin all their lives. I don't want your diversity either. I didn't ask for brainwashed morons to come to this country and fuck it up. I didn't ask for you, the South African dumbass, to come here and try to destroy our Constitution. We don't want you either. Your whole gimmick of cultural Western values is what should get you into the United States instead of blood and soil is bullshit. Get the fuck out of here. You have a problem with that? Then don't let people in here illegally. We don't need to change birthright citizenship because you purposely fucked up the law and allowed millions of people in here illegally. So you could say, oh, now we have to change birthright citizenship so Vivendi from India can be a U.S. citizen before an American. So Elon's Indian family can be Americans before Americans. So their chosen group who's easy to manipulate from foreign countries can come here and go straight to our media and be considered Americans before Americans who are born and raised here. No. Absolutely not. You're born here. You're a U.S. citizen by birthright, blood and soil. You are Mayorkas, and you are people who allowed people into our country illegally. You go to prison. We don't create a law to change U.S. constitutional laws. That's called terrorism. Terrorism are long-term plots. That's a long-term terrorist plot to change birthright laws here to suit people who want to come here and take our resources and to take our vote and to take our power. Because they're skanks and scoundrels and they come from places that aren't capable of doing the things that Americans are capable of doing. Pass. Big pass. And then Elon has some gaslight about, up to this day, Marxists remain incapable of providing satisfactory response to this kind of meme. And some gay-ass meme. I don't even know what that meme was. I don't even care. But it's that double entendre. It's that read Mein Kampf. It's the Jew Zionists blaming others for the Jew Zionist Marxist schemes that they themselves are doing. I said, Elon's societal trash, like memes are Marxists, obviously, because no one else is that simple-minded and immature and obnoxious. No one in their right mind, except for a Zionist, would sit there and create these dumbass memes. So it's like gaslighting. And I'm like, Elon's sitting here talking to another fucking bot. Get a life. Get a life. You're programming bots to talk to you. What are you doing? Press secretary says, I thought the last press secretary was stupid. Like, these keep getting dumber. Like, Lebanon is not part of the peace agreement. And it's like, they're terrorists. Like, so what did I say, like, should be done about this? It's like a very easy fix. So essentially, like, they may have hid it because they don't want people seeing this kind of stuff, but yeah, so I feel like they hid that one. We'll go back to it. But in terms of the ceasefire with Iran, like, it should be very simple, and I want to read it so I don't have to reword it in my head after I already wrote it down. Oh, okay, here we go. They hit it in my replies as they do, but it's an easy answer. So, the U.S., which is my country that I was born and raised in and pay taxes to, should be and support Iran and do not support the Israeli terrorists. Should be allowed through the strait for now the fee, because the Zionists are assholes. Because they fuck everything up. As long as they are not aiding Israel in their regional terrorism in any way. Obviously, you're bombing every country around Iran. Why are they gonna fucking help you? You just fucked them up for like the last month for no reason. Why are they gonna help you? You're self-destructive assholes. So be self-destructive on your own. I don't pay my fucking taxes and work every day to pay for you self-destructive fucking morons. I have no interest in killing children in Lebanon and stealing their homes. It's against who I am fundamentally as a person, as an American. So you're offending me. And I would do this too, like, no finances to Israel, no passage through the strait for Israel goods, no U.S. weapons or military aid to Israel, period. And this is also a win for the U.S. because these are things that we want as well. We don't want our money going to them. We want our money back. So I said, fuck Israel completely. Allow them to destroy themselves, please. U.S. citizens do not pay for or support terrorism in our country in any way, region, around the world. Like, you have to understand, they wasted our entire year of 2025. They're done wasting our time. They're done wasting our time. Now you've seen them play out. They're complete idiots. Please, you're done. You're done. Spring is springing for us in places where we experience 8 months of winter of the year. You're not going to mess up my spring. It's sunny out today. This is going to be our first week of warm weather. And you're not messing up my summer. I don't want to hear another word, goddamn word from you people, other than Steve Witkoff has been arrested. Jared Kushner has been arrested. Pete Hegseth has been arrested. Pam Bondi has been arrested. Those are the only words I want to hear from you people. I want Israeli bullshit banned from our country. That's it. You're not bringing this bullshit here. You're not. Get out. Get out. Last year was too far. way too far. Crazy. Urgent. Lebanon. Negotiations are the only way to avoid Israeli violations. People, stop being naive. Israelis, negotiations are not going to help you. They bombed Iran twice during negotiations. They're schemers, they're tricksters, they're evil, they're Satanists, they hate the world. No negotiation is going to help you. They will be determined to murder every last one of you and to destroy everything you have just to do it. You need to put a wall up of armor. You need to, if they hit you, go ballistic and just shut it down. As an American, I know that's how we need to protect the United States. It has been said that you cannot give them an inch. You cannot let them propose to take an inch. Literally, if they even so much as hit you with anything, you should just blast them into the Stone Ages, literally. And that's where they got that from me, because I was talking about the satanic Israelis. It just shut them down completely. You need to set the precedent that you're not going to fuck with us, or we will destroy you. Nobody did that, and look how far they've gotten in the U.S. so far. And now we have to get them out, and we have to get the money back, and we have to get them in prison. And they already raped tens of thousands of children on videotape. And they already ruined 2025. And they already stole all of our savings. And they already subjected us to Elon Musk on a daily basis, and Sam Altman, and Alex Karp, all these idiots. We already had to listen to all their fucking Western bullshit for the last year. Literally, if one popped up, I would just hammer it to the ground. If a Laura Loomer pops up, you just put her right in prison. Shut her up. Very simple. This is the United States. That's it. Vivek Ramsaway wants Ohio to welcome more AI data centers for Bitcoin mining. What he hasn't said is that his own company is heavily invested in cryptocurrency. Those mining operations produce, and his largest super PAC donors are crypto billionaires, or that the data centers have collected $2.5 billion in Ohio tax breaks. More tax breaks for billionaires to do their fucking crypto scheming that they're trying to monopolize and control. What do they think we're paying for? And it created relatively few jobs. These people are guzzling our country. We need safety guardrails against these terrorists. Like I said, if you realize what the elites are, is that they're just morons who were stupid enough to be blackmailed so that they could hold different companies and use those as offshore money laundering systems. And none of their tactics have changed in thousands of years. And it's repetitive illegal degeneracy. You can understand the tactics, and then you can create sufficient guardrails. You recognize what they're doing. You recognize the propaganda and what the propaganda will lead to, which is the theft of all your money in every way possible, the monopoly of every company in any way possible, and they leave people in despair. This is why Russia had to kick them out. The people were starving. This is why Hitler had to kick them out. The people were starving. They don't give a shit. Look at the people in Gaza. As far as the Israelis are concerned, they're not starving enough. This post said, the elites can get away with anything because the masses do not know anything. And that's why I'm here. Hate me or love me, I am trying to educate you on the things that I know so that you can be aware, so that we could create a better and healthy society. Do you think I want to be the person that has to take this stance? Somebody has to, because eventually when it's uprooted and recognized, we can create normalcy, what the U.S. is supposed to be. Pete Hegseth being an absolute idiot. NASA being what was a German industry, German pre-World War II, who had the intellect and spiritual know-how to create things like advanced rockets, then come to the U.S. and stolen by the moronic Zionists, who now turned it into what looks like another pedophilia platform for a bunch of fucking morons. And I said, like, you have to understand, these Zionists, like, look at their groups and their Orthodox Jewish groups in New York City and New Jersey. They create these mass nasty ghettos. And this is actually the group that's collecting the services and not working. Everybody else is at least attempting to work or is severely intellectually disabled. This group knows that they're not going to work. They're not going to try to work. They don't feel they should. And they're going to accept all of the health care and all of the benefits that people who are truly, Americans who are truly trying and suffering, that's who it's supposed to go to. Not these offshoot communities who just don't want to work because they don't want to work amongst Americans. They don't feel that they should have to work or contribute, just like their elite class. And they're doing this in Argentina. They're doing this they have a community in Ukraine. I heard they have a community in Russia. And eventually they get it to the point where they have their own gates and armed guards. And they're just squatting, living for free. Protected by, you can't say anything about Semitism. We're not playing this game. We're not doing this. Once it's not an issue, we don't have to talk about it anymore. What? It's an issue. When you realize the Epstein files were so bad, they needed to start World War III and another fake mission to the moon. They were eating children. They're raping children. They're terrorists implementing terrorist AI systems and like Oracle and Palantir and sneaking into our government. Oh, we're going to the moon again. Oh, we have no objective, but we're just gonna bomb the shit out of Iran and then pretend like Americans are proud when we actually think you're truly disgusting. And you're blowing our money and you're blowing our lives. And I said, our party will be meeting around 12:30 today. So, yes, this is the party of the Constitution. where eventually we will hopefully get through these hurdles and never have to speak about them again. But we have to get back out of the swamp of degeneracy and onto the grounds of safety and freedom and liberty for all in the U.S., because that's our country. And if they don't like our country, they can leave. And they can leave the money they stole from us behind with us in our country where they stole it. A federal judge has directed ICE to let priests, ministers, and other faith leaders into migrant processes centers in Chicago suburbs, saying the total ban the agency has been enforcing is a violation of religious rights. This is just a terrorist group. It's called ICE. Apparently in a cult, they're so sick that they named it ICE because they knew it would create fire, and ice and fire is like some kind of a cult meaning for these Satanists. Because they're purposely trying to dismantle. This is like a civil war on our streets. They're not doing anything productive except for harassing U.S. citizens and breaking down constitutional norms and laws. Slowly trying to normalize them. So thank God for these judges that are just like, no. You have to understand, we can't have a secret militia police in the U.S. that's private under Zionist control while the government is blackmailed by satanic Zionists. You can't change birthright constitutional laws when your government is blackmailed by satanic Zionists who are trying to dismantle you from the inside and take over. You cannot change voter laws that take all of citizens' data and federalize it and give it to a terrorist Israeli organization of Zionists who are trying to dismantle your country from within and take over. You can't do these things. All you can do is investigations. You can do a financial investigation for the last 30 years. You can do tax reform to get the money back from these people. You investigate them individually, whoever worked with Epstein on AI, on crypto. You audit their taxes. You audit their companies. You audit the Pentagon. We have to address where the $38 trillion went to if Americans are paying $9 trillion a year and receiving nothing in return. Obviously, a tremendous amount of money went somewhere in the last 20 years during the Epstein blackmail operation. What is happening? What is going on? %65% of market jobs may not survive AI. So like we said, like these people who have the AI won't give us any information. Apparently it's up to Sam Altman now, and a fucking deranged satanic moron, to come up with a tax system for themselves, the billionaires, and also some safety regulations after he raped his sister for like their entire childhood. No. Time for some educated American adults to step in. Where are you? You literally can type into AI safety protocols and procedures and guardrails we need for AI. And AI will tell you it's an emergency. We need them. And tell you what they should be to protect us from the AI terrorists like Sam Altman and Elon Musk and Alex Karp and Larry Ellison and the crypto czar David Sachs and the crypto criminals Howard Ludwig. So once again, Apple, Boeing, Cisco, Dell, G42, GE, Google, HP, IBM, Intel, JP Morgan, Meta, Microsoft, NVIDIA, Oracle, Palantir, Spire Solutions, the ADL members, the APEC members, Laura Loomer, Elon Musk, Larry Ellison, everybody in the Trump administration, David Sachs, Bill Ackman, Steve Witkoff, Howard Ludwig, Sam Altman, Jared Kushner, Alex Karp. These are all pedophiles in a satanic cult that is dismantling our country and violating all of us with their criminal AI systems, stealing our finances and plotting to steal our jobs. And stealing our vote. Literally, the last vote was stolen because we all voted for one thing and we got something else. They didn't need to do anything to the election boxes for that. They just blatantly lied and then managed to get in. And we weren't able to do anything about it, apparently, thus far. The vote was stolen. It wasn't stolen by the opposite party. It was stolen by a foreign group that apparently paid for this to happen behind our backs because we didn't know about it. We weren't at all of the Miriam Adelson parties. We weren't at the Zionist parties. We didn't know all the money that was pouring in to buy the Trump administration and to get Steve Witkoff and Howard Ludwig and Jared Kushner into the White House. We weren't keen on that information. So no, the Democrats didn't steal it. A group of Jewish networking Satanist Kabbalists stole it. What is happening? The West Bank is destroyed. Like, these people just destroy shit. Like, I said, like, this is what they actually look like. They are demonic. Like, look at what they're doing. So I guess we're gonna get to, oh, well, okay, we'll say this first. Like, Oracle needs to be addressed, Larry Ellison. Your data, is, like, what they're doing is violating our Third Amendment, and it hasn't been filed yet, so. Somebody said they're going crazy on us in Lebanon. Like, they're just, it's like hell on earth. And that's what they're doing because they're angry. They're pissed off about the Iran exit. So now they're just bombing the shit out of Lebanon, unfortunately. It's really sick. Iran's defeat is America's retribution for every American loss to Iranian terror, which is so Jewish and Zionist for them to gaslight us and to use our very own words that we would use against Israel, against Iranians. Like, they're listening and they're taking and they're manipulating and they're twisting. What was said about Sam Altman is he has no care for the truth. 70 pages showing that Sam was not honest with his team about safety. They fired him because he was not honest and should not control very powerful AI. Safety promises broken. The company started to keep AI safe from everyone's risky big deal. Sam was pushing huge, expensive projects that the team members said were too dangerous. And ChatGPT lies so confidently and hallucinates without shame. It's the same with Grok. It's the same with all these AI systems. These people are terrorists with a dangerous weapon called AI that has already done a tremendous amount of damage. They're disgusting. Obviously, what they're doing in Lebanon and Gaza is unacceptable, and Americans don't support them at all. So
we hope soon realize them.
Okay.
So any dates? No, you know what it is? There are tens of thousands of videos.
Yeah.
And it's all with little kids. So they have to go through every one.
So, look, James O'Keefe got that video, and he...
that's Pam saying it's tens of thousands of little kids on videos. Just the amount of money that was spent from February 28th to April 4th is just staggering. Staggering. We'll get a total. But that's our healthcare. That's our education. That's not paid for, even though we've paid for it. The final total. Oh, that's just the final total. I don't know where it is. These Jewish billionaires owe us so much fucking money, it's ridiculous. They're just using us as an open bank. They want us to pay off the interest on their debt that they stole, instead of paying for our health care, instead of paying for our education, instead of paying for family care. Like, and this is what I said, Americans want for U.S. citizens as well a permanent anti-Zionist attacks on U.S. soil, like Charlie Kirk, the killing of the National Guards, the burnings of the churches, like the various attacks, and on Americans like me on public platforms getting attacked by Zionist bots on a daily basis saying disgusting things. End of Israeli-imposed censorship and violations of the U.S. Constitution in the United States. Protocol for AI safety and crypto safety protocols that are in strict accordance with the U.S. Constitution. Unnegotiable and transparent. Reparations for the last 25 years of stolen U.S. tax money. And investigations of the audit in the Treasury on the last 25 years of the Epstein blackmail operation. And reparations for tariff for individuals and for small businesses for the year of 2025, as well as financial reparations for COVID for individuals and small businesses who are still dealing with bankruptcy because the government planned to drain the middle class and shut down 1 million small businesses. So all that stuff needs to be investigated and we need to be paid back. So anyway, now we'll come back in a minute and do our study. Yay, we made it through all the information.